Okay. Ah, live stream. Right. Well, um, welcome everyone. Um, and I found myself um, thinking about what to say um, that I haven't already said many times. And of course, that's part of the practice to keep repeating and repeating, remembering, so that we develop a habit just like we did when we were young children. And occasionally you get asked questions. We just finished a course, for example, at the Credo Center. And occasionally you get asked questions which make you think. And the other day, I think about a week ago, maybe a bit longer than that, I was asked a question which I answered. But afterwards, you sort of stop and think, is that the way the question should be answered these days? Does the answer to a question in Buddhism and in mindfulness practice change according to the times we live in? And the question was, and I think Karina will recognize this, what do we mean when we use the phrase sentient being in our loving kindness meditation? And at the time, of course, I answered in the way I've understood it. I went a bit further than that because if you look at the dictionary definition, if you look at the traditional Buddhist definition, it's quite a closed definition. But I expanded that a little bit when Karina and I were talking, because I think, as you know, I've come to realize how clearly now all things come from the earth and all things go back to the earth. We are what our mothers ate and drank. Our children are what we ate and drank. There are only four main elements: air, water, material things, and so on. And if I remember rightly, there's only about 97 chemical elements. And I think I'm right in saying 96 of those come from exploding stars. So one way or another, we are of the universe, directly or indirectly. And it got me to thinking, because when you work with growing vegetables, you begin to see that plants have, I'll call it mindful instincts. Some people, in some definitions, plants are not included in the terms sentient beings when we use the loving kindness meditation. But when you watch plants and how they grow from seed, and in particular, when you watch, for example, plants like beans and peas, I often say the breath knows how to breathe. Well, it's also true that peas know how to climb a pole. They just do it with the right conditions. So this term sentient beings, and of course we have some people who believe they can talk to plants. And if you listen carefully, plants talk back. So I still don't know the answer, to be honest. But it seems to me that our connection with nature may well lead us to conclude that plants and trees are just as much sentient beings as animals that have sensations, have senses in one way or the other. And it's just a reflection to think about, because when we practice our loving kindness meditation, sometimes we use this phrase sentient beings, and we do it in the context of the particular practice we've learned at the time. And I think it's worth reflecting. Indeed, the Buddha taught us, don't believe me, don't listen to what I say and believe it. Test it for yourself, see for yourself. And I thought it might be worth at some point, perhaps towards the end of the session, if Ajahn, you would make a comment on the meaning of sentient being in the context of our own practice. So with that thought, thank you for that, Karina. It got me thinking. And Ajahn will continue with the practice.
So thank you very much for the difficult question and difficult subject to reflect, because the word sentient being, from what I heard from the David's reflection, it suggests that sentient beings are... Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So sentient beings are out there. Not me, but out there. But in Buddhism, sentient being, including me, in that. So that's why the Buddha said, in order to understand all the sentient beings, know yourself. The moment when you know yourself for the real, then you will know every sentient beings. That's why it comes in the Satipatthana, the 4 foundations of mindfulness, Ajjattawa Bahidhava. Yeah, so that means knowing our own self and as well as others. Here, knowing ourselves about the body, about the feeling, about our mind and emotions, and about the phenomena of our own existence. In similar way, we have to understand the rest of other beings. Ajjata Bahida. Bahida means the external. Okay? So external. And in order to understand their body, their feeling, their emotion, and their mind, and the phenomena about their existence, we have to understand ours. So with that, then we will be able to recognize the similarity, and then also we will be able to recognize the difference. And that's how the loving kindness and compassion automatically generates in our hearts and minds regarding others, regarding ourselves as well as others. That's why I always recall and always say that if you genuinely want to develop loving kindness and compassion, practice and know yourself. And if you genuinely want to measure your development of meditation, check whether you have a genuine loving kindness and compassion. Right? And so with that, then we will be linking with all the sentient beings. Here, sentient beings, as we know, there are 31 planes of existence, and there are countless of beings living around. Visible, invisible, and everyone. And among that, there are the 18 elements in particular, that relate and that continues our existence. When you look at the Buddha's teachings, Buddha's first hypothesis of his research work was why do I have to get sick? Why do I have to get old? And that was his question, hypothesis. And then with that, he realized that, oh, because of there is sickness and decay, getting old, we are going to die too. So when he looked at that and investigated, he realized that, oh, that is because of the birth, being born. So, and then further, he investigated then what is the cause of being born and where normally we are reborn. And that's how the different realms and the different beings in this entire cosmos, universe, exist. And with that, when he further investigated, he realized that, oh, being born is because I have an attachment. I have an attachment, and that attachment is simply because there is a sense of wanting and not wanting. Wanting to be, not wanting to be, not wanting to have, not wanting not to have. And having seen that, there will be reactions. And on the basis of that reaction, we will be reborning again and again in the samsara, the cycle of a birth and a death. So in this cycle of a birth and a death, we are one of beings. One of beings that we are wandering around. In Buddhism, it is the word called sattanam. That means every sentient beings, including human beings. That's why when we look at the scripture, humans are not traveling to reborn as Satan. A being is traveling. So, including human beings. And in this traveling process, on this travel, there are two ways. One, mindlessly living and doing unwholesome actions. And as a result of that, we are creating our own existence towards the miserable. And the second, we are working with the wholesome thoughts and positive thinking and working, and with that, we are going towards the liberation path. And it's entirely up to us which one we want to go, which one we want to choose. Based on that, we are traveling on this samsara. And based on that, again, we are whether making it long or making it short, the journey on the cycle of a birth and a death. So all comes at the moment of here and now, that how are you doing? What you are thinking, what you are saying, what you are doing. And unmindful or mindless living, what we do, whatever we are thinking negative. Whatever we are saying negative thing, complaining. And whatever we are doing with unwholesome activities. Then misery comes. Whereas if we are living mindfully, we will be able to recognize that, oh, this is just it is. So rather than trying to be, we will be a being. Huh? So that's called mindful being. And a person who is fully living mindfully is a person called the noble being. So the moment when we can live mindfully, we become a mindful being. So that is the reason practice of a mindfulness meditation is learning our own capability to be being, living in the moment, living life mindfully. Okay? So with this, let's practice meditation. Right? With the gong, sitting meditation. I will guide you through. So sitting comfortably, relax your entire body. Making sure that the place that you are sitting, you feel comfortable, secure, and in a good posture. And relax. Bring your attention to the primary object. So breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling. Settling down, grounding yourself. Feel the primary object rather than thinking about it. And whatever ways, whatever is taking place at this moment in the body, simply paying attention to it. Knowing, being, observing. So consciously aware of that particular primary object and spend few moments on it. While you're paying attention to the primary object, in case the mind wandered away from the primary object, acknowledging, observing that mind is thinking of something else rather than the primary object. Acknowledge of that distraction. Do not rush to come back to the primary object, noting the object that you are having, thinking or dreaming. After noting it, letting go, back to primary object. As you're working with that primary object and working with the distractions may come, seeing the difference between the things that you are observing and the mind that is being observed. The object that you are observing is one form. The mind that is observing that form is a consciousness. The ability to see these two different parts while we are observing one object. There is a form or object that is observed, and there is being observed. The consciousness is observing. Such as the thoughts that we are thinking is an object. Knowing that I am thinking is a consciousness. So there is knower and known. And whatever is being known, again, mentally try not to grasp. Mentally try not to search for it. It's a natural phenomena that we are observing as they are and as the mind is there. So with the gong, slowly bring your attention to your eyes and open your eyes. Okay. So this is a practice. Floor is yours. Anything that you want to ask, you can. And you want to share your meditation experiences again, please do so.
Ajahn, I would like, can you listen to me well? Because I'm having some connection problems as well.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I would like to make a comment about my personal experience at the moment, and then a question as well.
Okay.
So, so lately I feel that my mental health is deteriorating a bit, mainly because adaptation to a new situation. And I'm dwelling with a paradox. That is, the happiness, it's in ourselves, is not on others. For us to find happiness, we have to be aware of ourselves. We have to look at us, as you were saying before. And as you said in the beginning, the fact of always wanting and not wanting lead us to this kind of confusion and not to be aware on the present moment. So the other day I came across with the saying of this famous Buddhist monk from the Zen tradition that died not so long ago, the Thich Nhat Hanh. That I'm going to read it. I wrote it. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
And it says that when we are suffering, we have a strong need for the presence of the person we love. If we are suffering and the man or woman we love ignores us, then we suffer more. Your presence is a miracle. Your understanding of his or her pain is a miracle. And you are able to offer this aspect of your love immediately. So, my question is, if the happiness is on us, from the moment that we are aware of that, why do we still need the presence of somebody else to make us feel good? Sorry, this is I assume that you know all the answers, Ajahn, for everything.
Okay. If you remember me saying in the past that no one make me angry without my permission.
Yes, I do remember that.
So do you agree with that?
I do agree with that, but sometimes it's really difficult.
So happiness is also same. The moment when we are thinking of our happiness depending on somebody, on something, then that's already we are in trouble. we are already dissatisfied with what we have and what we are. We are trying to conditioning ourselves to something to be happy, right?
Mhm.
So as a result of that, the absence of that thing, that person, creates what? Suffering, unhappiness. Okay? So that's why practice of meditation is not conditioning with things, but knowing that everything is conditioned. And that knowing helps us to be free. And that free is the real happiness. That's not conditioned.
And you see, I agree with that, Ajahn, but sometimes everything is impermanent, and sometimes it looks like that I understand that and I am aware of that, and other times it's kind of I just know the theory. It's difficult to put it in practice.
Karina,
you see, like, why does that? Yes.
At the moment, it is a theory, yes. And then we are working with that theory. The moment when we completely understood, we are arahats. So you are not noble yet. We are working with it. So it is very good that despite of working, you are still unhappy.
Okay, I
just need to work. Work and work, and then practice and practice. Every time when you feel unhappy, oh, that means I am still grasping something. I'm still expecting from somebody. I'm still conditioning myself to something to make me happy. Now, watching that feeling, watching that emotion, and rather than why, watching, oh, after I have this emotion, this feeling, oh, that makes me feel down like this. That makes me feel upset like this. And then that also conditioning my well-being, and as well as that is also affecting to my family members and also my work, right? So that's a constant ability to be mindful of these feelings and emotions in those situations. And gradually what happens is that the length of unhappiness, length of upset, the length of feeling down will decrease slowly, one after another, one after another. It's not, I'm not saying that once you have done 1 hour of meditation, it will be completely free for a whole month or a year. It's a constant work that we are working. Yeah. Only thing we can notice is now I can recognize it when it happens. And then early on, it was like a whole day or maybe whole week. And now at least a whole day, or maybe eventually as you grow and practicing, grow your practice, ability to develop your awareness of the feelings and emotions, recognizing those conditions and effects, maybe lessen, you know, the length is become shorter and shorter and shorter. Doesn't mean that there isn't the fire. Still, it will come. The very time that comes, I know that this is here again. The only thing is, rather than questioning of why, what's going wrong, looking at that particular moment of the feeling and emotion, and then the effect of it. Okay?
Thank you.
So,
yes.
Karina, that's the good news. The bad news is it takes a lifetime, and if we're very unlucky, many lifetimes. Jean, can I just sort of follow up on that? Because I recognize all the, even Karina, even after 8-9 years of practicing with the Ajahn Sujan, I recognize all that you're talking about, all that you're saying. It seems to me, Ajahn, that it's particularly challenging if you have a family which, if you like, the other partner or the other parts of the family, and I don't just mean husband and wife, but I mean the whole family, the wider family, aren't practicing and developing and learning in the same, to the same principles you are. In other words, you almost have to split your life. Now, I'm quite lucky in that Lena and I practice in different ways, but on a similar path. But I've met quite a lot of people who find it difficult to maintain their practice when other parts of the family, if you like, are on different paths. Is that something that you've discovered as people talk to you about their practice, Ajahn?
It is actually a general question and the difficulties, that's for sure. So that's why even there is a discourse, there are 4 principles that's called a Sanghavatu. Not Sanghavatu. I forgot the exact name. There is a 4 principles. One is called a Samasaddha, Samasila, Samachaga, Samapanya. If everyone has got these 4 principles embodied, Samasaddha means having the same faith. Samasila means equal practice of a morality, of practicing morality and a sound morality together, both sides or all the family members. And then also there is equal sacrifice in between members of the family. And also the last one is called equal samapanya, means having sound wisdom to deal with the difficulties together. The moment when these 4 principles embodied in each and every members of a family members, then the family becomes harmonious. And then whatever tasks we perform becomes easier. And that include the practice of whether any religion or any practice of a meditation. Now, in terms of the practice of a meditation, again, it's difficult in case if we haven't got the members who are practicing similar to us, that's for sure, because of different understandings. And then the benefit of that will not be understood. Now, having said that, again, here, rather than thinking of a changing of other members to practice as we want them to, it's our duty to practice and continuity of our practice. And changing our perception and behavior and ability to accept their ignorance or their inability to practice and extending a loving kindness towards them much of the time, hoping one day they will practice, they will understand the value of it. So here, rather than thinking of changing them to come and practice meditation, we have to change. And that comes with the proper understanding of the meditation and the practice. So that's why, if you remember me saying all the time, practice of a meditation is changing your heart like a water. That ability to be in any jar, not affecting to that jar, but maintaining its pristine quality of its water as it is. So that's our mind. Our minds and heart, ability to accept, ability to respect and value others, and also ability to adapt any situation and adopt the situation that fits and comfortable. It comes with a lot of sacrifice. And then there again, we should not be asking, despite of my sacrifice of this much, why I am not getting anything in return. The moment when you ask that, you have already conditioned yourself to be unhappy. Right? So the fact of the practice is basically, in every situation, any situation, I am there practicing, knowing, seeing, understanding, and letting it be. So that is, but definitely it is difficult for everyone to practice. And it is definitely difficult when the environment is proper. But despite of those environment is improper, we should not be giving up our practice.
I think another way of looking at it, Ajahn, is I'm not just practicing for my own benefit. I'm practicing if my mindfulness is calm and peaceful, if I'm responding helpfully rather than unhelpfully, it's for the benefit of all other people, including those around me, my family, my friends, my husband, my wife, my son, whoever, daughter, whoever it may be. If we keep in mind we're practicing mindfulness, not just for our own benefit, then it gives us a focus that is other than ourselves.
That is true. In the meantime, actually, practice of a meditation, although it appears to be practicing for ourselves, but in fact, we are practicing for others too. Automatically, it is creating the environment that is more calmer and peaceful for ourselves and our family members, and also that extends to the community. And that's the reason why the more we have understood, we become more positively thinking of things, whenever things happens, and responding it very wisely. And rather than creating more trouble, we will be letting it be and towards the positive way. So it's not just closing your eyes and sitting at the corner and just for yourself. It's like a selfish act. It seems like a selfish act, but it's in a way, it's the act that affects to the entire community and even entire world, concerning of everybody. So, but meanwhile, as you said, if you keeping in mind that even will definitely boosts the practice. Okay. I wonder who is this N.
Thank you so much, Susan. I was trying to press my micro. It's Natalie, and I really appreciate all what you have said today. And as an element of water, we are all linked. So what we do to ourselves, we do it to everybody. And that has an impact on the universe if we go further. So thank you so much for what you have said. And I didn't hear what was happening at the beginning, and I'm sorry if you got COVID-19, is it?
It's not COVID-19, it's COVID-22.
Oh, well, you are more advanced than I am. So.
119.
Well, I'm glad you're cheerful. I know it will take a long time, for your body to recover, and they will have some, consequences. But I'm glad, you're cheerful and can lift our spirit like you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, now I think it's time for the loving kindness practice. So Karina, would you like to lead us? Loving kindness practice? Not ready yet? Okay.
I'm not feeling prepared. I'm sorry, Ajahn.
All right, no worries. Okay. All right, then. So let's practice loving kindness meditation. So with the gong, we'll practice. Okay. Okay, so relax yourself and bring your attention to be mindful of your body as you're sitting here and now. Spend a few moments on the breath. Take a few long breaths and relax the entire body. And reflect a few moments on today's practice and discussion. And bring your attention to observe the bodily sensation. Swiftly, you may scan the entire body and observing the sensations throughout the body. Observing tensions and letting it be. And relax. And feel the breath coming in and going out. And observe the heart as you breathe in and breathe out. The chest area rises and falls as you breathe in and breathe out, and feel the connection with that. Try to observe the heartbeat. And as you feel the heartbeat, connecting with it, feel the connection and allowing yourself to be happy, allowing yourself to be free from suffering, mentally reciting as a form of telling to yourself or affirmation. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be free from suffering. Remember, it is not just a sentence that we are reciting, but the true feeling from bottom of our heart. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. May I be liberated, liberated. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings. Extending our love and compassion to us all. Whatever beings there are, visible and invisible, living on earth, living in the water, living in the skies and in the universe. Those livings near us, around us, and far and wide. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. We all share old age, sickness, and death. We haven't come across, overcome from it. So may all the senses be happy. May all sentient beings be at peace. May all sentient beings be free from enmity and danger, envy and hostility. Troubles of the body and the mind. May they be liberated, liberated. So bring your attention to your hands. Feel the sensations in your hands. And to your body. Observing sensations in your body. And to your eyes. Observing the sensations around your eyes. Generating the intention to open your eyes. When intending to open your eyes. Watching the thought. And as you hear a gong, slowly open your eyes and reflect for a few moments of today's practice and what have you achieved so far. Okay, thank you everyone. Wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll see you sometime soon.
Thank you, Ajahn. Hope you get better soon as well.